Alright, to the surprise of no one, if you're playing Dark Magician, you're not playing Dark Magician. So let's just get into the deck list and then we can talk about it. First of all, one Dark Magician, 1 February, 3 Draw, 3 Magician Souls, 2 Maxi, Wish It Was 0, 3 Rod, 3 Ash, 3 Furos, can't say that, I don't care, 1 Magnuma, 3 Durasworm, don't know why I started on that, 2 Engraver, 2 Unicorn, 1 Nib, triple Chaos, double Tracked, 1 Salvation, 1 Planet Race Self, 1 Circle, 1 Birth, triple Servant, triple Evenly Matched, 1 Internal Soul. I used to run a 2-2 split of Soul, Circle, and Salvation, but I don't want to draw these cards. They are bad. I go above 50, 40, I mean, could have went 50, above 40, so I draw the cards less, because they are not good. If you, this is, Dark Magician, all Dark Magician does is just be a control deck that uses their resources, well, to control, and we're just doing the same without using bad cards. Like in the extra deck, it's quite literally just Lacrima, Beatrice, so if you're desperate you can just send the Dark Magician, Caesar, which you're normally always going into, Jinzo, so you can steal a monster, that's sometimes funny, if you have the resources and you can do that, might as well. Blink Spider, just in case you need to link off the Magician for like, I don't know, SP. Then Requiem, and then of course the Requiem is sequence, but we ran double sequence because it came up like one time when I wasn't even playing this deck, it was some other Fiendsmith deck, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, might as well. Light Charmer, Dark Charmer, would use the Fire one, but unless I'm normal summoning Ash, it's never coming up. Phoenix, SP, Goddess, which, my goat. Different Goddess, also my goat. Closed Heaven. I like Jinzo because I can basically go into this Goddess, I can basically go into Apo and pretend it's Underworld, because I use one of their monsters. But I normally do that turn 3, when I just reuse the Fiendsmith engine after turn 1 Caesaring. So I'm not gonna lie to you, this deck is burns. I basically need to open a 2-card combo. Thankfully, all Dark Magician does is search for searches. But it's like weird because each searcher searches something different. It's like tunes in the way that you want a card to search everything, but it doesn't. So sometimes you're gonna have to search for a card that can search for one you want, which is annoying. Like, if Circle just added any Dark Magician card, I would run it at like maybe 3, probably not, but maybe not 1. But it doesn't. Like, there's a rare time where you just open Circle, when you Circle, find 7, and it's like, go. But normally you don't, and you want to die. Realistically, you should run different hand traps. I would swap out the 3 evenly for 3 imperm, to be honest. But, you know, I have it. I just like evenly. I think evenly is a goated board breaker, and sometimes with this deck, because of all the hand traps, you just open all hand traps, no engine, even no bad engine like Dark Magician, and it is cooked. But you can pass, hand trap them, evenly what they have left, and then hopefully you draw into one of the many cards that does something. But you get used to Dark Magician. Alright, so game 1 that I'm showing right now is versus Tilament. There'll be a picture of our deck list up right now. Sadly, I have to go second. Looking at my hand, it is not bad. Souls, Maxi, Unicorn, Circle, Unfortunate, and Evenly. They begin by Foolish Barrowing a Suliak to get Rhino Heart. I'm like, uh-oh. I have Maxi, so it's fine. Normal summon Rhino Heart. They send Havness, Fusion Summon effect. I Maxi in response. Hopefully they don't do anything. They respond with Ash. I go, uh-oh, it's cooked. At least I have evenly. And right now I'm feeling this is good. Circle in the opening hand sucks, but let's hope I find something to send off with souls. They fusion summon Kitkalos. As they do, send Tier Cash. Obviously the normal play. Very standard play. Send itself, summon it back. They mill like 8. Yeah, they mill 8. And they completely fucking whiff all 8. I mean, obviously milling the trap is goated. Like, they milled Meta Noise, which is good for next turn. They also milled Black Goat Laughs, which is also good, though it's a very easy card to bait with my Unicorn. Fun fact, Unicorn by itself, or Unicorn with a normal summon, is all the material you need to get into the Fiendsmith engine through Closed Heaven. They use the Black Goat on my cash spell. It allows me to go Souls. Thankfully, I find a Servant Souls off of my circle. That allows me to search for Rod. That allows me to get the final piece of my engine. The Dark Magician engine, that is. Then I go Souls and Rod into Closed Heaven into Requiem, and I start spinning the gears, of which is the Fiendsmith's engine. I'm going to have to use the Unicorn sadly, and I can't bring it back with Birth, but it is all worth it just for the fact I can, in fact, you know, get into Fiendsmith. I made a very risky gamble here. I sent the tier cash to the graveyard. Really shouldn't have done that. Even when I was doing that move, I was like, I really don't want to do this, but I was like, under the illusion I could went for lethal this turn. I couldn't, under any world, went for lethal. There was no reason for me to send that. I should have just destroyed it by bow and not, like, activated the effect of this. But I'm nothing but a gambling man. So, you know, I just lucked out. Obviously, I have to use the Unicorn to go into sequence here, but from now it's just very easy SP Caesar, because I still have to shuffle back on the Engraver in the graveyard. Make Lacrima, bring back Engraver. And then I go bow. Obviously, I'll be losing damage if I linked off right now. I now go SP, Engraver, bring itself back, shuffling back the sequence. Which, the only issue with this greedy play is that if I shuffle back the Engraver with Lacrima when it goes to the graveyard, I have to get Engraver back in rotation to get Lacrima back into the deck so that I can actually do the whole play again. If I leave it alone, I don't have to do anything. I can just shuffle back Lacrima with Engraver. But I also lose out on the burn. Runner Hearts and Havness, I just Caesar that. Now, with the Star Magician, I have to remember that, looking through here, they milled a Super Poly. And them milling Super Poly, having 4 cards in hand, I'm worried that they also have a secondary Super Poly, or they might draw into a Super Poly. Granted, they can't fusion off this right now, unless they use their Runner Heart. Stopping their play means they can go into one. Well, they can use this to go into a Super Poly, which is like worrisome, but it's fine. Also to preference, I did SP banish the Kitkalos, so they are really on the back foot at this point, and with the interaction I have available, I don't have to worry too much about Super Poly, but as long as I don't get 2 Darks on field, I will be fine. Ironically, this will be fine, and I will win this game, especially having Dro. So that's what I was thinking about. I chain Soul to this, so when they summon it to the field on Resolution, Circle will banish it. I could banish the Runner Heart, probably should have banished the Runner Heart instead. But I also, worrying about Super Poly here, I chain block. So, chain link 1 Circle, because they summoned. Chain link 2, I can Rod, Tribute the Magician. Now this does double duty. It plays around Super Poly, because you can't Super Poly off SP Moonlight and Dark Magician, you're gonna have to use your Destrudo, and it chain blocks Circle for if they had Ghost Ogre, they will obviously use it, destroy Circle, and I've lost all my interaction unless I can recur it. They did in fact have Super Poly, which I was like thankful I did play around it. I was actually kind of hyped because I don't normally think that hard when I play. But obviously they have to use one of their monsters. I'm surprised we didn't use their Destrudo though, because I Circle targets, and they saw I targeted Destrudo. So I really don't know what they were thinking. Obviously they just go Super Star Slayer. That's fine. That's completely fine. That card does really nothing. I have no monsters above 3000 or above attack that really does any effects. Especially when I can just bring back Dark Magician and then Circle banish it. I just have to tag and do a nice fun animation. What a beautiful animation. So game 2 is really irrelevant because even though it is Blue Eyes, here's a little spoiler, we don't see that term. Now, this game doesn't really show off, well, it shows off two things. A, the fun thing you can do about playing around Max C. If you don't have Ash, let's pretend we didn't. Droll, you don't search a lot. After your two searches, being Engraver for Tract and Tract for Lurie, you don't search at all with this deck, unless you have Unicorn. Or like, Dark Magician stuff. But that doesn't cause you to special summon. So, after special summoning, you droll them, you're no longer under Max C, and sometimes, depending on the player, they will just give up, assuming you're playing something competent. Now, the reason why this droll is so good, it does help you against Max C. The only times you special summon, which you would care about searching, is Souls, which you can allow them to go neutral for Souls, because Souls normally searches for 2 cards if you send 2. Tract. If they Tract is after you special summon with Tract, you can draw yourself, it'll be completely fine. You don't search at all after that. If you don't have access to Dark Magician stuff. If you get drolled, let's hope it's not Engraver, because you need to be able to search for Tract. So if you get drolled on Engraver, you're cooked. If you get drolled on Tract, you're fine. In hands where you have multiple searches, if you have a hand with Unicorn, Engraver, and whatever, you always want to search with Unicorn first. So if you get drolled after Unicorn, it's fine, because Unicorn plus a normal summon is full Fiendsmith Engine. With Birth, that is. If you get drolled after the Engraver, you're cooked, because you now can't search with Unicorn, you can't search with Tract, you can't search with Dark Magician Souls, or Rod, or Chaos. So in this pretend scenario, droll does fuck you, just it doesn't fuck you as hard, depending on the hand, or what you do. Alright, so this replay, I'm going second against the best deck in the format, Snake Eyes. Now, someone could argue that the White Forest variant is better, but to me they're basically the same. Opening the hand, I like the look. There's Unicorn plus the normal summon, that's full Fiendsmith Engine. The normal summon does search for one of the 2 cards I need for, obviously, the Dark Magician engine. Now, I'm looking across at this. I realize my Drill Worm is most likely useless, and I don't have any hand traps. So, it's kind of cooked. I'm hoping for a good beginning draw, because like I said, I have the Evenlies, I don't random perm in this deck. Okay, well, I guess I'm kind of worried now, actually. Well, this is just a very bog standard Snake Eye combo, so I might as well just fast forward it. Everyone knows what happens. It is just crazy that Azumina can search for spoils and then make a negate. It is just insane. I don't know how they even designed this card. Power creep's insane. But obviously Snake Eye combo. Granted, this hand isn't bad. Unicorn, in my brain, I'm like, Unicorn will bait the negate, and I hope I draw Fiendsmith Engine. Honestly, I don't really know what to say as this is happening. Hey guys, you know Snake Eyes? What a deck, am I right? So, Azumina, Fiendsmith, you know, I'm just gonna skip to when they're done. Oh wait, I tried just one. Well, base for negate. I already knew that something's getting negated. Though, I now have just one for next turn. Bam, yeah, this is cooked. Basically, at this point, I know I'm not gonna like win the game per se. I just want to see how much my deck can play through a basically impetuous board. Impetuous isn't even a word. What did I just say? Impregnable? Okay, so now it's my turn. That's for Snake Eyes Negate Trap. Now, going to this Unicorn, special summon, of course, that means they can Snake Eyes out SP. So, one of two Goddess negates. 8. Some, okay. Then there's Fusion, Link summoning to SP. Go. And we get banished by Unicorn. And obviously they get a chain block it. As if I could do anything at all. Now there's a reason why this is the best deck in the room. Because it is just insane. I've kind of needed an Emily to even try. But I'd have to try bait the face up negate of either Desiree and the trap to be able to even contest this, which is insane. So that's the second Goddess gone. You should be like, oh, you should be helpful, but I'm really not, because this is just cooked. Even if I can break the board, they have set up for the next turn, which is insane. And I'm even running the bad card, like the one they just searched. Like that's just the bad one people don't run. Like it's such a win more card. So I have the Dark Magician engine available technically. Yay! They even waste their Desiree. Like, they waste their Desiree negate, and it literally means nothing. And I get drilled. I just have to leave. There's no point. So, let's go back to the deck. The strengths. It's cheap. You only need to get 3 structure decks, and then the Fiendsmith engine. Plus, I mean, Beatrice hardly ever comes up. You don't need to craft her. That's at R. This is just from, like, legacy packs. You don't even need it. It's just a fun of. Goddess is like kind of needed, but Goddess is just a good card already. Obviously, SP is kind of needed, but that's also just a good card already. And this card will always be good. Like, it's not like meta, but it'll always be good. Unicorn as well. Amazing engine. Same with Bestials. Like, you should always probably have these crafted anyways, so it's not doing you any harm crafting them. So, benefit is it's cheap. It's also just kind of like cool. You get a used Dark Magician. It's not that common, but anytime you would normally see Dark Magician is if it's on a Red Eyes Fusion. And that's kind of cringe and boring. So you can actually like summon Dark Magician and then attack with him. Like that's cool. The main strength of this deck is that people can confuse it with being something that it's not. If you stop them from playing, make it in fight game state, and you begin with Fiendsmith, sometimes the person will just quit the duel because they think you're playing Snake Eyes or the YuGiOh. That's for strengths. For weaknesses, if you can't make it in fight game state, you lose. You can't really break boards with this deck unless you draw evenly. So it's either draw hand traps or die. Also, issue is if you also don't draw hand traps going first, your turn 1 board can lose to like very simple stuff. Like if you extend and go Goddess Caesar, you lose to Imperm like heavily. Like Imperm your Goddess, and it's just crazy. It's crazy bad. With decks like Tempai and Snake Eyes, Azima, YuGiOh, all these decks I can play through a fuck ton. Unless you can hand trap them and like really force them to play under a lot of shit, it's really difficult to make them slow down. It's not impossible. With cards like Droll really fucks over the best decks. It's a really amazing card, and a card you can put them under if they max you, as shown in the second game. The Bestials are insane. So sometimes you're just winning off of your non-engine. But that's kind of the point of this deck. Most of your like ability to play is from the non-engine. But it's like, for cheap, like, the Dark Magician stuff is 1500 gems. All the other stuff you probably should already own, because it's good in a lot of shit. Like, so this is like a probably deck you can just have lying around. So if you can make a deck, you might as well should. There's no reason not to. You're just limiting yourself for like piss and shit of it.